For the miners on Gold Rush, it has been a matter of either going big or going home. This meant that Parker Schnabel would have to purchase additional acreage, which would include Sulphur Creek, a move that appears to have been successful right from the beginning of the process. Aside from that, Rick Ness has taken a significant risk of his own in what might be his final season at Duncan Creek if he is unable to obtain a water license. He placed a wager on his new cut, which he referred to as Vegas Valley, using 400 of the 900 ounces that were produced in his cash cow, Rally Valley. It's possible that the grounds contain as much as $2 million, or they could contain nothing at all. In addition, there is Kevin Beets, who made the decision to separate himself from his father, Tony. Ever since the beginning of the season, the eldest son of Tony Beets, who is now the new mine manager, has been confronted with a string of unfavorable occurrences. His operation at Scribner Creek was finally able to get some sluicing done, despite all of the obstacles that he faced. Despite the fact that he has already contributed over $2 million of his life money to the accomplishment of this endeavor, he is still working toward his goal of achieving a weight of 1,000 ounces this year. Take a look at how the three of them fared throughout the week that was covered in the episode that aired on February 21st. After spending a week at Sulphur Creek, where they were searching for quick gold by working through the pre-stripped dirt, there was not much they could accomplish at the present there. Schnabel, who is constantly thinking and planning, came up with a new strategy to go upstream with his primary focus on the red gravel that was located in the middle of the cut. Schnabel considered the possibility that there could be as much as $1.5 million in the location, despite the fact that it had never been sluiced before. For the purpose of the job, he once again solicited the assistance of Tyson Lee in order to relocate the wash plant Big Red. Cole Anderson, who had just been hired, was given the challenging responsibility of providing assistance. Although there were a few near calls on account of a loader slipping off a little bit, they were ultimately successful in delivering Big Red to its most recent residents. On the other hand, there was a hopper feeder tail drum that needed to be replaced, so things were not quite smooth sailing. Without a backup, they were unable to function for 2 days while they waited for a replacement. Before the arrival of the night shift, the team worked diligently to get the plant ready for operation. Schnabel lowered his long-term objective for the season from 10,000 to 8,000, but he had already taken a few steps to position himself for success in the following season as well. To express his appreciation for Tarana Costa's labor in the gold room, Chris Dumit presented her with a tag for her dog Nacho. This was a touching gesture that Chris Dumit made. At Dominion Creek, Schnabel was in charge of 2 different wash plants this week. A total of 136.50 ounces, with a value of more than $341,000, were delivered by the bridge cut after 4 days of labor. The red gravel run was more successful than anticipated. The long cut brought in an additional $285.10, which came to more than $712,000. It was the best haul that the cut had accumulated so far this season. As things began to look brighter, Schnabel had high hopes that he would soon be able to get 3 plants growing for more profits. For the Ness crew, it was all about moving dirt and more dirt than they had anticipated. Due to the fact that there was an overburden of 160 feet to traverse, time was of importance. In order to even have a chance at this prospective gold bonanza, the plan was to run 230 truckloads every single day without stopping. As a means of achieving maximum efficiency, a method was implemented in which truckloads were directed downhill to drop overburden white, while other rock trucks were directed upwards in order to reduce the amount of gasoline that was consumed. There was a terrifying moment when one of the trucks flipped over close to the brink of what could have been a catastrophic drop. With the intention of avoiding damage that would require thousands of dollars to repair, the crew utilized a 460 excavator in order to get the 34-ton vehicle back on its wheels of support. Although it was a delicate procedure, they were successful in getting the vehicle back on the road. The road is really rocky. The way that Ryan Kent characterized it was as nothing but speed bumps in the parking lot. He even went so far as to say that it was what he called hell on earth. This is Ryan Kent. A different vehicle had a different problem. When Kent drained the oil from the drop box, he saw that the tint was not very appealing. Furthermore, he discovered pieces of metal. Ness was unable to afford to have a truck that was broken down. In order to have a new drop box fitted for the car, he made an investment of $35,000. For the job of repairing and replacing, the utilization of a crane was necessary. Following 7 days of constant trucking, the crew was able to carry 1,890 loads, which was 290 more than the target that they had been allocated from the beginning. That was equivalent to 80,000 tons of soil. All things considered, they were able to get through 70 feet of overburden in a span of 2 weeks, and they still had 90 feet to go before they could even consider reaching pay. There is still more work to be done. Beets made the decision to add a night shift in order to gain a head start on the gold when they were just 33 ounces into a goal of 1,000 ounces. The priceless hours spent ensuring that the washing plant continues to function properly could make all the difference. Caden Foote, a newbie who has 5 years of experience, was given the opportunity to work for him. The sole responsibility required the individual to load paste soil into the hopper and remove tailings at regular intervals of 8 minutes. Due to the fact that he worked half of his shift in relative darkness, this was far simpler to say than to execute. The fact that he was by himself meant that he had to make judgments on his own and work while simultaneously keeping a lookout for dangerous animals. Until approximately 5 in the morning, as his shift was coming to a close, everything appeared to be going swimmingly. Foote observed that there was no stuff flowing out. In a hurry, he made his way to the conveyor, which had malfunctioned. He pleaded for assistance. In their investigation, Beets discovered that the hopper belt had been broken. To make matters much more difficult, there was 12 tons of dirt which was obstructing the hopper. To get everything out, the day crew had to spend a significant amount of time shoveling everything out. By the end of 16 hours, the area had been cleaned up and the hopper belt feeder had been repaired. We are fortunate that Foote's second night shift was less eventful than the first. The next person to take over was Hunter Canning, who experienced her own set of delays. Despite the fact that there was yet another delay, the staff was able to find a solution to the problem in a little under an hour of downtime. Beets sat down to weigh their harvest to see whether or not all of their labor had resulted in a successful haul of gold. It was determined that the spawn of the King of the Klondike weighed 122.4 ounces, which was equivalent to $306,000. The decision that Beets made to run overnight turned out to be the right one, as he was able to quadruple his previous effort. Despite the fact that he still had a long way to go, this was undoubtedly a minor victory for him.